Hello everyone. So in this tutorial, I am going to show you how to successfully link your Mastodon to your n8n workflow so that you can use it and more specifically post with it. You can do other things such as follow people automatically, like posts automatically and whatnot. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to specifically stick with posting. But also, just as a heads up, this gives information on how to successfully create your credentials with Mastodon in your n8n workflow. So if that's something that you need, this is also what the tutorial covers. So let's get started. I am going to first have a trigger so that we can use it. Okay, that's not working. Let's have a schedule trigger. We'll just leave as is so that if you would like your schedule to get going, this is one of the best ways to get it going. You can't really make it go active if you use like just a click trigger, right? So next we will go to the HTTP request node, and this will be what you will use to successfully configure your Mastodon API. So I will just put Mastodon API, and for this we will choose the post method, and for the URL I will do https://. So for the next part I will put hachidem.io. Why do I put this down? It's because it is the instance that my username is under, right? So we can see here, please do not highlight the whole thing. Okay. So we can see here that my instance is hachidem.io. For you, it might be something different. So for example, you might be under Mastodon social. It might not say this after your username. So in that instance, instead of using hachidem.io, you would want to use, Mastodon social, right? Instead of that. But for my username, I'm under hachidem. So I'll use hachidem.io. So after this, I will then continue on, and it will be API v1 and statuses. So again, if you are under another instance, you'll need to change this part to your instance, but everything else will be as it is in here. For the authentication part, we are going to go generic credential type. And for the generic auth type, we will go with OAuth to API. From here, there will be this new field that comes out. It will be red, and this means that you need to have something or else this node won't work. So for this, we will create a new credential. And we can see the following fields. So we'll leave OAuth redirect URL and grant type as it is, but for the authorization URL, we are going to put https again, : / and again put your own instance down. If it's Mastodon social, put Mastodon social. I will put hachidem.io, and then we continue with the /OAuth /authorize. And for the access token URL, it's going to be something similar, https:// hachidem.io, and then /OAuth /token. So again, you will need to change this part to your own instance. For example, if you were Mastodon social, which is the default for Mastodon, right? But if not, if you are under something like a different instance, like me, then put that instance here. So now we have the client ID and the client secret. What the heck is that, right? So you will need to access it from your own Mastodon profile. And the way you can do that is by going to your preferences and then going down to development, which is in this left-hand menu here. And then from here, you will need to make a new application. Under this new application, give it a new name. We called this I gave this an unnamed credential. Let's call this test Mastodon credential. And, oops, I spelled Mastodon wrong. Okay, and I will also give this new application the same name. For the redirect URI, I'm going to replace this. And I'm going to replace this with the OAuth redirect URL, which you see here. And you can just click on it, and it will automatically copy it to your clipboard, as we see down there. And we copy it here. So now there are different scopes, and these different scopes basically give permissions of what n8n can change in your Mastodon profile. So reading, for example, is like not Mastodon, but n8n being able to see all your posts. You might want this if you want to save particular posts that have a hashtag of n8n, for example, right? This is what you would want read for. But for us, we will want to make sure that write is ticked. We are going to untick the rest of these. Maybe I'll tick read. I'll show why later. But we need to have write if you want to post. Because see here, write statuses, publish posts, that's what you want. Since you've already clicked or ticked this, you don't really need to tick this. And we will click on submit. Wait, yes, let's submit. So now we see that we've done a new application, this test Mastodon credential, and we will come back to it and see that we now have a client key and client secret. Why is this relevant? It might sound familiar, such as this client ID and this client secret. So for the client ID in your n8n, this is the equivalent of your client key in Mastodon. So we will copy this and paste it here. And then your client secret is the same as the client secret in Mastodon. And we will paste that here. So just as a heads up, you really should not be showing anyone these details ever. The only reason why I am showing it in this tutorial is because I do plan to delete this after. This is just a test application. So just as a heads up, don't show anybody this, especially your YouTube. Okay? Great. Thank you. So now we will go next to scope. And for the scope, that looks kind of similar, right? It looks similar to this, the scopes here. So like I said before, what we want to do is write posts, publish posts. So all we need to do is just put write over here. Now, for example, if you want to have different or more permissions of n8n to your Mastodon account, for example, you want it to parse your own posts, for example, you can also put in the different permissions. So, for example, I might want to read some posts and save them somewhere else. So for that, I might want to also allow read. And as you can see here, all you just need to do is a space in between these scopes. And it will read or know that you want your credential to both have the ability to write in your Mastodon account as well as read your Mastodon account. For the auth URI query parameters, we are just going to leave it as is. And for the authentication, we are going to change this to the body. And now for the moment of truth, I am just going to save the changes here. Make sure that if you change anything here, you save the changes. before you connect your account. I would also save the changes here before I connect. So now you can see that it says got connected. The window can be closed now. When you are first logging into your account, you will see that it will be asking you for permission, and you'll see two big buttons, a purple one that says authorize and a red one that says deny. You're going to want to press authorize, and then once you press authorize, you will see this window or this screen. If not, you will need to really double check your credentials, because it means that something has kind of gone wrong in connecting your account. But now that it's connected, it will still, like, nothing will change. But if it says that it's saved, you're all good. You can close the window. I say that because this screen will still come up even if you have successfully connected everything and have saved anything prior to. So just as long as this is saved, you're good. You can close that window. And you can tell because if we decide to click back into it again, okay, we don't need to update my password. You can see that the account was actually successfully connected. And okay, let's do that again. Close. Here, the account is connected, and you don't see that red button anymore, even though I still keep getting that pop-up. So just remember that. It's something to keep in mind. It can be a little bit confusing. Even though n8n is a very powerful tool, it does have these kinds of weird UI, I would say. So now we configure the post part finally, and we will click on this, make it active, send body, because in your credential, your authentication is body. So therefore you will want to pass the information through the body instead of these two. And for the body content type, we can keep it as JSON. For the specified body, just use the field below. And then for the name, you are going to want to put status. For the value, I'm just going to put something nice here, or a test for a YouTube video. Smiley face. And then what you can do, if you're going to type like way more, you can actually click this button. If you want to take information from previous nodes, expression tends to help more than fixed. So that is something to keep in mind. You want to press expression here, not in the name. And if you are going to type like way more and you're going to need expressions, you can do something like that. Right, you can click on this, and then it will show you what it will send in the actual post. So very powerful tool, but make sure you know what you want to do if you plan to choose expressions. But this is just a simple test. And now I will test the step. So it looks like everything is good. Green check mark here, green check mark here. But you also want to make sure that it actually posts to your Mastodon account. So I am going to go back to my account, and I can see that it has successfully posted, which is always a good thing. I say to also check your own Mastodon account in the website itself, because I have had an instance where the output was positive, but it actually didn't post in my profile. So you really want to make sure that when you're testing, you check both of these places, because at the end of the day, you want it to post here. This is your big end goal, not just a successful output here. And yeah, that is how you are able to successfully post from your n8n account. Of course, you don't need to just put like, you don't need to hard set your value. You can get stuff from your previous nodes and put it here because n8n is very powerful. But that is basically the essentials that you need for making your Mastodon API work. So, make sure you make it active. When you make it active, it automatically saves. And then you are ready to go with your Mastodon API through your n8n workflow. So if you like this tutorial, if it was helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I also did an article about this, so if it was a little quick or if some parts were a little quick, I do have everything in depth. I have screenshots, I have the HTTPs or the links that you need written down in that article, so please do check it out. If you want to follow me on Mastodon, Blue Sky, Twitter, feel free to do so in the links down below. Hope it was helpful. I do plan to make more n8n tutorials such as Blue Sky, because the Blue Sky API call was also a little difficult for me on n8n. But yeah, hope you have a wonderful day. Let me see your workflows. It'll be very cool to see. And yeah, hope to see you guys around.